Hello everyone, this is Linda Timian, Independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. This video will show you how to assemble my Thoughtful Journey Suite set. The cards 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is card 1 and the dimensions. Card 1 is one layout but 3 different designer series paper sceneries, so you can pick the one you like when you're shopping for the card kit. I'm going to put together this first one here with the thistles. The background paper that I've used is called Thoughtful Designs, which is now retired, that came with the suite. So this is part of the Thoughtful Journey Suite set. The kit will start with putting the designer series paper onto the Thoughtful Designs backing, and looking at opposite corners. We'll get that with equal spacing all the way around, and we'll do the same. We'll adhere the picture to the card base on the left side, getting equal spacing top, left, and bottom. So for the sentiment, I'm going to make this a sympathy card, and so I'll just stamp the front of it with sorry for your loss. There's the Prayers and Promises stamp kit is really good for sympathy cards. And so I'm going to be using Petunia Pop for this sentiment. Try and get that straight on there. And there we go. Now the other piece here that was punched, we're going to cut that into 2 pieces, and then we're going to adhere that slightly separated onto the back. I do this quite often. It works well with this punch, and so we'll just set this up so that that bottom edge has about a 1/8 of an inch border along the bottom, and we'll do the same thing. Put some adhesive on the top edge and put the other piece on. And so we've got a nice little border around that sentiment. So I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back. I think 4 will do. These are the regular dimensionals. And then pulling off the wax paper. And we're just going to put this on the front, lower right of the card. You can, depending on which scenery you have, which piece of paper, which side of the 6x6, left or right, it might look good at the top of the card or the bottom. I think this one I'm going to put towards the bottom of the card. Just seems to balance nicely that way. And so that is the first card. Card 2. This card, you'll get a Cajun Craze cardstock base, and then a white layer that's embossed on the right side, and 3 pieces that go together for the front left panel, and 2 pieces for the sentiment. So we'll start by putting the embossed layer inside the card, and I'm going to use a little bit of multi-purpose liquid glue around the embossed part of the white, and then I'll use just regular tape runner, stamp and seal, or your favorite adhesive for the left side. And then I want to line this up so that we have equal spacing top and bottom and along the right edge, and then the left edge will just fall into place inside the card. And so now to put the pieces together for the left front panel, I'm going to put adhesive on the back of the designer series paper, and looking at opposite corners, line that up on top of the Thoughtful Designs backing, And then the same thing, adhere the picture to the white layer. This is a narrower margin around the edge, about a 1/16 of an inch. And then we're going to adhere that to the front left panel of the card. And so when I line that up, I'm looking to make sure that the white edges are even on the top and the bottom there, along both sides. That just really make sure that that is even. Okay, then we're going to stamp the same sentiment. Sorry for your loss, from the same stamp set, Prayers and Promises. I'm using Cajun Craze ink to go with the card base. And then we'll take that Thoughtful Designs backing piece and cut that in half again. And then we'll put a little adhesive on the back on one of the edges and give that about a 1/8 inch border along the bottom there. And then the same thing, we will put some adhesive on the back and line that up with the 1/8 inch border along the top. And so we're going to put that on with dimensionals. I'll need a dimensional on the top and bottom peaks, and then along the left edge. And so I'm going to put some dimensional, making sure that I stay to the left of that peak. And then we'll just adhere that to the front of the card. And you can stamp the inside of it if you want to, but that finishes up card 2. Card 3. This card has a pretty peacock card base and a white layer for the inside of the card, an embossed layer for the front of the card, and then designer series paper with a Thoughtful Designs backing, and 2 pieces for the sentiment. The first thing that we'll do is put the white layer inside the card. You can stamp a sentiment on it beforehand if you want to, if you want a sentiment on the inside of the card. And looking at get equal spacing all along the bottom left and right edges, and the top edge will just fall into place. Now we're going to put the embossed layer on the front of the card, and we'll use multi-purpose liquid glue, just a thin line all the way around, about 1/4 of an inch away from the edge. And then we'll put that on the front, looking at opposite corners, get that lined up with equal spacing all the way around, and give that just a minute to set. Okay, then we're going to put the designer series paper, put a little adhesive on the back of that, and adhere it to the Thoughtful Designs backing with an 1/8 of an inch border along both the top and the bottom edge. And then we'll take that and put some adhesive along the edges there, hold that down to put that in the middle and the center, I think equal top and bottom spacing there, and get that put together. There we go. That's the front of the card. Now we'll do the sentiment. I'm going to do the Sorry for Your Loss, and this time I'm using Pretty Peacock ink to go with the card base, and line that up and stamp that. And then we're going to do the same thing, take that Thoughtful Design punched backing and cut it in half. Put a little adhesive on the back of the sentiment, and then we can line that up along with an 1/8 of an inch border along the bottom there, and the same thing on the top, a little adhesive along the top edge, and 1/8 of an inch border. And then this we'll put on with dimensionals. Then I can use 4. Take off the wax paper and put that on the front of the card. You can decide where you want it. I'm going to put it on the lower right, and that is card 3. And card 4. Here's the dimensions. And in the kit, this one uses wild wheat, which was an in-color cardstock back a couple years ago. And the designer series paper, there's going to be the wild wheat backing, the embossed layer. The embossing is Gathering Leaves embossing folder. And then there'll be a couple pieces. There'll be a horizontal band and a decorative image and a sentiment. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is adhere the embossed layer to the wild wheat, and we'll do that with the multi-purpose liquid glue. Put a thin line all the way around, about 1/4 of an inch from the edge, and that will hold it down securely all the way around. And this embossing folder, these leaves do have a direction, so you want to make sure that the leaves are growing up. And then we'll get equal spacing all the way around, top, bottom, and sides. Give that a second to adhere, to set. And then we will adhere our layers together. And so I'm just going to use some tape runner and put that on the back of the designer series paper and get equal spacing top and bottom there, about 1/8 of an inch evenly all the way across. And then the decorative image, we'll put some adhesive on the back of that, and then that is equal spacing all the way around, top, bottom, and sides. And I think it'll work better. Yeah, if I hold the corners, I can see opposite corners and get that spaced evenly. Okay, and then again, we'll just put some adhesive on the back of that horizontal layer, and that'll go in the center, equal spacing top and bottom there. And then the decorative image I'm going to put on with dimensionals, and we'll, I think about 6. These are mini dimensionals, and so I think 6 will work okay for that. And we'll take off the wax paper, and then I'm going to adhere that towards the left side. It'll be top and bottom will be spaced evenly, but I'm going to put a little over further from the left edge, give it a little more space. And then we're going to use a sentiment. I found a For You sentiment in an old Paper Pumpkin stamp set. I think it was March 2025. And I'm using Mossy Meadow ink on this one. And I'll stamp the For You on the little banner piece. And I'll put this on with dimensionals too. And I'll put a few on the back. And then, of course, take the wax paper off. 1, 2, 3. And we'll line that up right there. And that looks nice. And so the last thing is to adhere that whole piece then to the white card base. And we'll just put tape runner all around the edge and make sure I have it on the right way, right side up, and opposite corners, equal spacing all the way around. And that then is card 4. I hope you've enjoyed watching and putting together these 4 cards from my Thoughtful Journey Suite set. Thank you for watching.